Hi, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. And man, this technology can be really irritating. Thank God I have the brains behind the operation. My producer Jude is holding my hand, figuratively speaking, and walking me through this. We got it though, okay? And I promise I'm not going to mention anything about you know what anymore because I'm tired of it. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the C word, no more. I'm tired of it. I know you guys are tired of it too. I've never been really afraid of it, and my heart goes out to those who are suffering or have loved ones who are suffering from it. But you know what? We're not going to talk about it during this show. We're going to talk about something positive. How's that? But first, before I get positive, I have to get my positive PED, and that, of course, is my coffee, my caffeine. Still legal, right? Okay. My coffee, as you know, very strong, like my opinion. Oh, my goodness. And I got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. All right. All right. About a year ago, in February of last year, we talked about an issue that's very near and dear to Filipinos and those of us who have Filipino blood in us, like me, right? And those of us who are history buffs and who love to travel to the Philippines and marvel at one of God's wonderful creations and one of the great natural harbors of the world, and that, of course, is Manila Bay. And just to go back a little bit, I'll refresh you on what has been happening. Manila Bay, the source of so much history, so much triumph for the Philippines, so much joy, romance, fishing, economics. It's just a jewel. However, over the last few decades, it has been anything but a jewel. It's been a cesspool. I think we can all agree on that. Not only has it been it looks horrible, it smells horrible, and it was horrible with pollution. Not only has it been hurting those who just like to enjoy nature and go fishing and swimming, but it's hurting the economy. People who fish, people who live in the Luzon and the Manila area. It's just been hurting everybody. So actually, the battle for Manila Bay started a long time ago. It was, if my memory serves me correctly, 2008. The Supreme Court of the Philippines came down with an edict saying, "Hey, let's clean this up. It's gone too far." Well, yeah, and 11 years later, it's too far. It's gone too far. President Duterte, who he is one of the most popular presidents the Philippines has ever had. You know why? I'll give you a couple of reasons. Number one, he serves the Filipinos, not the foreign powers like the United States or China or Japan or what have you. He is a Filipino through and through, and he's not ashamed to say that, and not afraid to get in the face, if you will, of the foreign powers and calling them all kinds of names, names I won't repeat here. But God bless him. He's in for the long haul. Of course, he took office a couple of years ago, and his first line of business, of course, order of business was the drug war, and that continues. And it's been bloody, it's been brutal, but you know what? That's entirely the fault of drug traffickers and people who peddle the evil substance to our kids. It's shame on them. And I know the vast majority of Filipinos are behind President Duterte in dropping the hammer on those people. And the streets are a lot safer now. And the other order of business for the Duterte administration has been the battle for Manila Bay. And yes, he has an ally, not entirely. Isko Moreno, the new mayor of Manila, he's not walking hand in hand with Duterte, lockstep, but he agrees with him on most things, and the battle for Manila Bay is won. Okay, so it really took. They really launched the battle in full battle in February of 2019, And there are a lot of guilty parties. Uh, Believe it or not, industry is not the worst offender. I look at the numbers and what. Forgive me, I got a whole bunch of notes here because I want to make sure we got all the information correct here. Uh, Most factories are compliant with the pollution rules. The vast majority of them. The worst offenders are businesses like hotels and unfortunately families, the squatters, if you will, that live along Manila Bay. So, what has the Duterte administration and local officials been doing? First of all, 42 billion pesos is the price tag that they agreed on. And most of the 42 billion is earmarked for moving those 220,000 um, squatter families out of there because they're the source of a lot of the pollution. And let's face it, they're not living a happy life anyhow. You can't punish them. What you can't take anything for. What do they have? They have nothing. So most of the I believe 36 billion of that 42 billion pesos is being spent on moving those families out of there and not just kicking them out. That would be heartless. And Duterte and Moreno are not heartless people. They care for the average Joe, if you will, in the Philippines, and so they're moving them to a better life. It's a long process. I heard one person say you can only move about 10,000 of those people out of there per year, realistically. So that's a battle that has been ongoing. Now, it's you're going to face a lot of uh, pressure. A lot of people are going to be against you in this case because the people who are running these businesses, the hotels, and it's a big business, they're not just going to go down without a fight. They think it's going to run their bank account dry, but that's not the case at all. It's a win-win. And Duterte, unfortunately, his administration has had to be very serious and either force them to close their business if they fail to comply with the orders. But there's also fines of up to 200,000 pesos a day if they fail to do that. So there's obviously a lot of good reasons to get this done, but these big businesses, they're just blowing smoke if they say, "Oh, it's going to cost us money." Actually, it's going to make you money in the long run. It's a big process, a big project. Last year, when they really started it, early last year, a bunch of people got together and cleaned up, I believe, like several hundred, several thousand, I should say, tons of trash from the bay and the land surrounding Manila Bay. But that was just the first step. You've got to get the trash out of there and then stop the polluters. And unfortunately, it's not just the businesses and families that live right there along Manila Bay. The pollution comes from all the lakes and rivers in Luzon that are filled with pollution and dumping it into Manila Bay. They closed down in Barricade, which is just off of it's near Manila. They closed down 41 smelting firms, tanneries, packaging plants, and fish ponds. They're very serious. You've got to, you can't just go halfway with this, and they have not. Good for them. They also found 120 businesses were guilty of dumping wastewater into Manila Bay. And it's not just the businesses and the people who live there, it's actually the entities that are in charge of cleaning the water to begin with. In this case, Maniland and Manila Water. They weren't doing their job. Well, now they are because, Big Brother, the federal government has dropped the hammer on them and said, look, you were asking all these other people to do their part, and you have to do your part too. Sometimes the government is part of the problem, and in this case, they certainly were. So they have been listening. It's been it's been a shame for years. You know, the Manila Bay has been the source of so much joy over the centuries, and you know, for quite a while, people have not been able to swim there. It's downright deadly, uh, and pretty soon. We've heard stories of people swimming there. I think maybe they should wait a little longer, but you know how people are. People are already swimming there, but I think large scale. It'll be a little while longer, but we're seeing amazing progress already. The color of the water is one thing that has shocked some people. It used to be just black, and unfortunately, people have just gotten used to that. Well, that's the color of Manila Bay. No, it's not. It's not naturally. It's now turned turquoise. It's beautiful now, and good for you know. It's a wonderful story on many fronts. Getting some comments from people. Uh, uh, let's see. You love the Philippines? Well, of course. I mean, I met my wife there, and we have a house there already, and we plan to retire there in the not too distant future. Another spectator 1123 comments: big businesses are well connected, which is why lawlessness has run unchecked for decades upon decades. That's right. If you have power, economic power, political power, you can get away with anything. But you know, that's why it's good to see somebody like Duterte in office. You know, he doesn't play that game. He knows it's done nothing but bad for the country and its people and its economy and its tourism. It's just bad at every step of the way. And now we're seeing wonderful things. But again, it's not a one-time deal. Okay, clean up the trash. Okay, find some some businesses, and we're all done. No, it's a continuing effort. It needs to be sustained over, well, from here on out. You know, and I think everybody agrees, even those people who you know, were guilty. They have to agree that this is something that needed to be done and is being done, not just for the health of the Philippine people, but the health of the sea creatures, which is in turn contributes to the health of the people and the economy and the tourism industry. It's just a win-win-win all up and down the line. So it's a great thing to see, you know, and I think people in other countries, and for that matter, other areas of the Philippines, can learn from this, and you know, there's a great example they're setting. More comments from you guys. Um, let's see. I take a tour of Corregidor 4 years ago. Manila Bay smelled like an unflushed toilet. That's a fact. Eugenio Vincento. That is true. Mr. Family Album. No, I'm not in the Philippines now, but in a couple 3 months, we hope to go back there. And hopefully everything I'm not going to say the word, this little medical issue will have abated by then. And I look forward to going back there. And, you know, we'll make a stop in Manila. And I look forward to chatting with Isko Moreno, maybe even President Duterte. Who knows? I certainly would be eager to talk to them, not just about the Manila Bay cleanup effort, but also the drug war, and maybe even Mr. Pacquiao will join us soon. We'll see. Anyhow, that's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Speaking for myself and my producer, Jude, we are so indebted to you guys. We've been at this for about 1.5 years now, and we were over, last check, 44,000 subscribers. We didn't think we'd have this kind of success so quickly, and it's what a joy. We're just having a lot of fun, but we're sticking to our original plan, and that is keep the items, the topics that Filipino Americans would be interested in. B, keep it clean, and C, have a lot of fun. That's the key. Have fun, and we'll continue to do that. and look forward to any of your comments. You guys are what makes this show happen and makes it continue. We love to have your comments, and we listen. If you have any great ideas for future shows, we'll certainly follow up on that. So thank you for watching and subscribing. That's it for this edition of Coffee with a Goose. We'll talk to you again soon. All right, take care.